In a couple of months' time, we're looking forward to the winter festival of Hanukkah, and we light some candles, some little candles, and they go into the candelabra like this. But each night, there is one in the middle, and this is the shamus that lights the other candles. So the first night it's one, the second night two, until eventually after 8 days, all the candles are lit. So it's not a grand thing, but have one of these lighting up the home is absolutely delightful. And we actually remember the Hanukkah festival because the Jewish people were being attacked thousands of years ago, and the Maccabees, they fought back. They were a very small band of people, and a family actually, and they got their friends together and they managed to defeat the incoming Greeks, who had elephants actually in the parade. And this Hanukkah, it comes in all different shapes, but all these should be the same level. That's the most important thing. When we come to Passover, which is round about April, end of March, April, sometime around the time of Easter actually, it's a very busy time in a Jewish household because everything has to be cleaned, and we actually change to some spare pots and pans and cutlery and crockery so that we have got this special feeling. It's a festival of freedom. And even though there's a lot of work involved, it's a festival of freedom because we remember, I mentioned to you about the 10 Commandments before. The 10 Commandments come a little bit later on because the Jewish people were having a very, very sad time. They were in Egypt and they were slaves. And it was for several hundred years. They'd come to find water and peace and work. And it ended up, the Pharaoh changed and they became slaves in the story of Passover. And the dishes here will contain foods which actually are not that pleasant to eat. We'll have parsley, we'll have egg dipped in salted water, and boiled eggs, salt water. And the maror, the bitter herbs, have to be dipped into the salt water as well. And they are not the most pleasant things to eat, but we remember the bitter, sad times. And instead of eating ordinary bread, we have a large cracker called a matzah. And the matzah makes quite a mess if it's broken because it's very crisp, but there wasn't time to bake any bread, so they had to make, you may have seen flatbreads before, and this was the food that they made. And Moses became our leader, and he spoke to God, and God advised him how to speak to Pharaoh, and we left Egypt after the 10 plagues, which were quite devastating, but we managed to escape the parting of the Red Sea, and then eventually we got to Mount Sinai, where Moses received the 10 Commandments. I've been telling you about some really big highlights of the Jewish year, but on a regular basis, when it is the Friday night for the Sabbath, we call it Shabbat. So what I'd like to share with you are some of the things that you would see typically on a Friday night. On this model that my friend made, you've got 2 plaited loaves, 2 candlesticks, which are typically Friday night items, and these are actually from the museum exhibition. But the models there are similar, and the candles are lit first as it gets about an hour before sunset. The candles are lit with a special blessing. After we've lit the candles, we might sing a little song, we'll say Shabbat Shalom, and then we will go into the place where there is water. We can't be near a toilet, it's got to be a clean area. And this is a special cup with 2 handles called a keli. And we wash our hands in a special way. We pour water 3 times, drops onto one hand, clean hands to start with, and then drops of water onto the other one 3 times, and then we say a blessing, and then we've got to be quiet. Nobody's allowed to speak till everybody gets back to the table, and the breads, the challah breads, are uncovered and broken or sliced, and a little bit of salt is put on them, as different from when I was telling you about the honey at New Year. This is salt, and then everybody can start talking again. And that's quite fun because we've all had to exercise a bit of self-control. And this is a setting for a family of 4, and there is a little bottle of wine, and there are 4 little cups, all made out of silver foil here, but we have little cups called bechers, and the children don't get wine, they get something called grape juice. So they pretend that they're having some wine. The 2 challahs that I just mentioned, they are representing the manna which fell from heaven when the Israelites needed food before Sabbath for 2 nights. The manna used to fall every night, which was food, but on Sabbath they had 2 portions,